Alrighty, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to Season 4, Episode 49 of Hit the Books, the podcast all about sports betting, the best bets you should be taking, and everything surrounding sports. This week, just Huff and I here, but we got lots to look forward to in the NFL as we get closer and closer to the regular season here. College football Week 0 here this week, as well as some power rankings in the MLB, some news in the golf world as we're getting through all these championships here, and some interesting golf coming up with the Ryder Cup as well. But lots to look forward to as we get into this week. Huff, get us started. What do you got for us this week?
Yeah, a lot going on in the sports world. Preseason slowly wrapping up as we head into the final week of preseason. Steelers on Thursday, and then a full weekend of it, and then we're getting right into the NFL season on September 4th with Cowboys and Eagles. That feels like it's right around the corner, just about 2 weeks away from tomorrow. So, but like you said about the golf, Scotty back on top, wins the BMW with a fill-in caddy. That's absolutely a great story. Good to see him back on top. He's the favorite again this weekend at the Tour Championship. So hoping to see him bring home another one. But a lot going on in the sports world. Like we said, baseball, football, college football's back this weekend. We finally made it through the dog days of summer.
Yes, sir. We finally made it. Why don't we stick with the golf chat real quick here? Like you said, Scotty Scheffler at plus 240. He is your winner yet again on the PGA Tour. This time, the BMW Championship in Owings Mills, Maryland at Caves Valley Golf Club. The winner, marks Scheffler's fifth win of the 2025 season. 2 majors, PGA and Open Championship. 3 other wins, BMW Championship, Memorial Tournament, and CJ Cup. Brian Nelson Scheffler secured his victory with an insane chip-in on the 71st hole of the weekend for birdie to take a 2-shot lead in the final hole of the tournament. Scheffler would go on to make par on 18 and shoot 67 -3 on the round on Sunday to win the BMW. Was this one of Scotty's best performances of the year? Huff, what are your thoughts? Truly just crazy stuff. That clip went crazy of him making that chip.
Yeah, that was one of the best shots I've seen on tour, at least all season. The moment going to you're on the 71st hole of a weekend of a huge event, trying to get, obviously he was already secured his spot in that Tour Championship this weekend. We're only the top 30 guys make it, but Terrell and McIntyre by 4 strokes going into Sunday. He obviously, I bet him going into Sunday. I thought that 4 strokes, I said if someone's going to catch him, it's Scheffler. He was plus 175 going into Sunday. Starts off birdie, bogey. McIntyre could not hit a fairway, hit a green. You could tell the pressure was getting to him, and he knew who was chasing him down. Scheffler catches him. That chip in on 17 kind of was the exclamation point on top of it all to make him go up to basically win him that tournament. Like I said, he could have birdied 18, but you could tell in a lot of these tournaments where he has multiple shot leads, he'll lag putt a birdie putt and just try to get it in for par or bogey. I know this year, I think it was the PGA, he won with a bogey on 18. But that shot is definitely the best of the season. It's tough to say best performance because at the Open, I think he had a 6-shot lead or a 5-shot lead going into Sunday, and he never looked back. So that was probably the most dominating performance. But the way he came back on Sunday, he absolutely put himself in a chance to win that, which he did. But McIntyre couldn't, he kind of did everything he could to give it to Scotty, but Scotty didn't make it easy, or McIntyre didn't make it too easy on him, but a lot of bogeys, a lot of squares on the scorecard on the front 9 for Robert McIntyre. So made it a little easier for Scotty to play catch up and obviously gets it done. Plus 240 going into the tournament. I got him plus 175 I think then I boosted it was plus 200 or 201 right around there after I boosted it. So anytime you see him at plus money within a couple shots, unless he's chasing one of the other big dogs, and someone's on absolute fire, I will take that bet 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, seriously. He was lights out this weekend. Robert McIntyre also played so good through Saturday.
I hated it. I hated that happened to him. I want to see him win after what happened at the U.S. Open at Oakmont.
Yeah.
JJ Spawn hits a birdie putt to beat him by 1. He was a stroke off a playoff in the U.S. Open. Now this. Not that this is a major. I think he definitely would rather have the U.S. Open back over this one, but you could tell he was kind of in his own head in a mental pretzel all day on Sunday.
Yeah, dude, it was just so tough. Like, and that's when Scotty obviously picked it up. But holy moly, hard to watch.
He's literally like a shark. Smelled blood in the water, and he's like, "This is my tournament."
Done for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, BMW Championship this weekend went well. Scotty, great win yet again. But with the golf season quickly coming to an end, we have the Tour Championship this weekend, East Lake Golf Club in Atlanta, Georgia. The previous winner of this tournament, who you guessed it, is Scotty Scheffler. Who do we like to win the tournament here this weekend? Scheffler leading the odds here at plus 170. Rory behind him at a plus 850. Tommy Fleetwood at plus 1200. Ludwig Adberg at 1600, with Russell Henley also at 1600. Need I go on? What are your thoughts, Huff?
Yeah, obviously I'm gonna take Sheffield like I've done. These odds are already dropping. He was plus 175 when I sent it the other day, or plus 180.
Yep.
He's now down to plus 170 on MGM. So I think it's always a safe bet taking him. A important thing to know going into this weekend, they have stopped doing the starting strokes in the Tour Championship. So in previous years, if this was the leaderboard, Scheffler would be starting 10 under, Rory would be 8 under, Fleetwood would be 6 or 7. I don't remember exactly how it was. I know the leader started out at 10 under. So if that was the case, Scheffler would be probably minus 150 to win this tournament. But all starting out at even par, 4 rounds of golf. I like Scotty. The other one, I'm going to give you the same 2 picks I gave last week. He was in the picture. I'm going to go Aberg. Ludwig Aberg is my value pick at 16-1. But throw 2 units on Scheffler to make that plus 170 worth it. I promise he'll be in the picture on Sunday. And he has Ted Scott back on the bag now. Not that that's like necessarily
Really
like
doesn't mean much, but
yeah, it doesn't exactly. It doesn't mean anything because he won it. He had his friend on the bag last week. Wins his friend $360,000. He's like, "Hey, you're good. Thanks. I'm going back to my normal caddy."
great backup though. Can't complain. Yeah, can't see Scotty not winning this weekend, but can't obviously be upset with a good weekend of golf here this weekend. But we got
This is
one
in
more.
Atlanta, right?
Yeah, Atlanta, Georgia. So gonna be great, good weather. I mean, hot, but
it'll be hot as fuck.
But we got here one more point here in the golf world. 2025 U.S. Ryder Cup automatic qualifiers are official. Scotty Scheffler, J.J. Spawn, Xander Schauffele, Russell Henley, Harris English, and Bryson DeChambeau for Team USA. The 2025 Ryder Cup takes place at Bethpage Black from September 26th to 28th. What are your thoughts here, Huff? Anything on the Ryder Cup here before we get going?
Yeah, not necessarily on this. Obviously, that's a hell of a list of names. It's going to be tough for Europe to put a squad together to compete with those guys. But I saw today there was a little bit of shade being thrown between Keegan Bradley and Rory McIlroy. Rory, I guess, made comments about how Keegan's handling the captain, like kind of taking it a little too seriously, like stuff like that. I didn't really understand the full story of why Rory said what he said, but Keegan said, "Oh, that's nice. Has he ever done that?" Meaning be a captain of the Ryder Cup team, kind of a shot back at him. So there's some drama already leading up to it, and we're a little under a month away, or a little over a month away, from teeing off at Bethpage. They just released the uniforms. Obviously, Polo or Ralph Lauren, whatever you want to call it, always does the U.S. Ryder Cup team. So they got some nice stuff there. Way too expensive for my liking for just some USA golf gear that is I don't know. I think they always could be better, but I don't know. I liked what they wore in the Olympics a little better, at least from Scheffler's perspective. But yeah, I'm very excited for the Ryder Cup. I can't wait for it. Just a couple weeks away. By the time NFL season comes, this might be week 3 in the NFL. So there's going to be a great weekend in sports the end of September when we have the Ryder Cup, college football, pro football. We'll have everything going, and MLB playoffs probably by that point are very close to it. So very excited for this coming up.
Heck yeah, it's coming up quick, and we're excited for it. It's going to be again, like
I was thinking the other day, I'm like, damn, I get so excited for football to come back, and then that literally means golf's over. Like I just, it sucks, but yeah,
tough, but definitely excited. And with that, let's jump into some NFL here with our positional rankings here for this week. Top 5 kickers going into this season. Huff, what are your thoughts? Mine are pretty plain and simple. I want to hear yours.
You go first here. I meant to finish this list real quick. Let me finish mine.
All right. Well, my thoughts are Chris Boswell. Give me them in rain, snow, sleet, hail, sunshine, torrential downpour, hurricane. I think he'll always make the kick.
I definitely, I can't argue with that. He's my number 1. I had him at 1. I'm going to go with Mackey's Dallas Cowboy, Brandon Aubrey at 2. Harrison Bucker, I'm going to go with the Chiefs at 3. Been there, done that. Obviously, he's been there in the big games for Kansas City, and shown up. So I'm going to go with Cameron Dicker at number 4 for the LA Chargers. Number 5, I feel like you could go a lot of different ways. I've always liked McPherson on Cincinnati. Obviously, there's some hype coming out of Jacksonville for that Cam Little kid that hit the 70-yard field goal against the Steelers. I feel like number 5, it's kind of, unless there's someone I'm blatantly forgetting, maybe like a Jake Elliott over in Philadelphia who just won a Super Bowl, but no Justin Tucker anymore. So, what happened with him. So no Justin Tucker on this list. I don't even think in the past 2 years he would have cracked this list with some of these guys, but I think our guy Boswell is the unanimous one.
Totally agree. Yeah, definitely a tough list when you start getting up into that 4 or 5 range. I mean, you can put so many different guys in there that are,
You could throw anyone in there.
like you said, been there, done that. That's been said for many people.
Bates, I think he was with Detroit. Like, there's
Yeah.
so many guys you could throw in there.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely lots of good stuff. Kickers, important part of the game. But here next week, we have our top 5 teams coming into this season here for our final positional ranking of the year before we get into the regular season. But like I said, as we continue through the preseason, let's look at our AFC divisions and go through who we think's going to win each division. Huff, these will be pretty rapid fire, but AFC North, the Ravens are leading it at -160, Bengals at +260, Steelers at +550, and Browns at +3,300. Who do you have for the AFC North?
I think the Ravens will get it done. I do expect a little bit of a step back from them. I don't think that they're going to be the big bad Ravens, but they are always very good in the regular season. Regular season heroes, a lot of people like to appoint them, but sitting at minus odds, I don't like the value on the Bengals. I think that price should be higher. I'm not going to sit here and say the Steelers are going to come out and win the division. Would I be shocked with this roster? No. Would a lot of people be shocked with Aaron Rodgers under center if they come out and plus 550 win a division? Yes. So I'd say Ravens, or if I'm not taking the Ravens, an unbiased pick, I think I'd like to see the Bengals at 400. So I'd take the Steelers after that at plus 550.
Fair. Yeah. Hard to say no to the Ravens. Steelers, like you said, totally a flip of the coin, in my opinion. They're not, like you said, they're not going to win the division.
They're going to be good or fucking terrible.
Do well,
Yeah.
But it's still, the AFC North is always a gauntlet.
Yes.
Jump in here, AFC South here. Texans leading at -105 with the Jags behind them at +310, the Colts at +375, and the Titans at +775. What are you thinking about the AFC South?
Yeah, I think this is a 2-man race between the Texans and Jags. I don't see the Colts or Titans competing. Colts just named Daniel Jones their starting quarterback. I don't think they'll be competing for a division with him under center, at least this season or anytime soon. Same with the Titans. I think Cam Ward has a lot going on over there with the Titans. That's not a very good roster around him. They're going to need a couple years to build that team up. Texans, obviously sitting at -105. Are they that much better than this Jaguars team? I don't know. They were good the past 2 years. I'm going to stick with the Texans and say they get the job done at -105, basically close to even money.
Yeah, I think it's Texans all the way. I don't think the Jags are going to magically pull something crazy off.
Yeah, I could see the Jaguars be a wild card team, but not win the division.
Yes, I think that's very fair. Alrighty, staying in the AFC here, jumping over the AFC East, the Bills leading them at -325, the Patriots at +550, Dolphins at +850, and the Jets at +1800. Any thoughts?
Bills, easy Bills.
Yeah, can't go wrong here.
Their schedule is very friendly this year. Yes. I think they're going to roll their division. I could see them go 6-0, 5-1 in the division, maybe slip one up at the end of the season if Allen's resting or something like that. But
exactly.
I think -325, that's a free leg in a parlay.
Yep, you're 100% right. All right, AFC West here to wrap up our AFC divisions here. The Chiefs leading in at just -118, but the Broncos kind of behind them at +310, Chargers +310, Raiders +1700.
I thought it's a high price on the Raiders. I guess I have a little bit more strong feelings about that Raiders team than most people. Not saying they're going to win a division. I like the value on the Broncos and Chargers. I expect a little bit of a step back from the Chiefs. A lot of people are saying that, though, and that's what's scaring me is Kansas City sitting at -118 to win this division right in front of our eyes, and I'm trying to sit here convincing myself to take a +310 with Denver with a young quarterback, or the Chargers, who just lost Rashawn Slater for the season. If I had to pick out of the two, I'd say Chiefs or Chargers. Chargers would probably be my value pick there.
All right, let's keep it going here through the NFL. We have one more point here. The Cleveland Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski Stefanski has announced their starter for week 1 among some other teams. Do you like the choice of Joe Flacco for the Cleveland Browns week 1 game?
I think that's kind of by default, I guess you would say. Shadur's hurt, Dylan Gabriel's hurt, Pickett hasn't played in the preseason. We know what's going on with Watson; he's still injured. And they brought in Tyler Huntley as just a preseason body. I don't even think they had any plans of using him. So Flacco gets the job by, I think, default here. He's not going to be the starter the whole season. You're going to see multiple quarterbacks under center for Cleveland. I don't think this team's going to be very good. So I think that quarterback position over there in Cleveland is going to be a rotating door. I could see Shadur, Dylan Gabriel all get some touches. I don't think Kenny Pickett will be a Cleveland Brown by week 1. So in the next 2 weeks, I think you could see a team trade for him and try to make him a backup quarterback, a true backup where there's no, expectation of him to come in and play, kind of like where he thinks he's competing for a starting job in Cleveland. But I'm going to go with, I guess you have to like it because he's probably the most consistent out of those guys, but Cleveland's not competing for a Super Bowl. I'd throw Shadur out there and be like, all right, let's see what you can do.
Yeah. I don't think you're wrong. Like you said, some tough injuries in that locker room. Tough injuries across the whole league from preseason training camp. That's one thing. It's just weird. But yeah.
That's what the other thing is. There, Cleveland was like, "We'll just trade Pickett to someone that needs a quarterback that has a lot of injuries." It's like you guys are the ones with a lot of injuries, and you have 5 quarterbacks.
Yeah, literally.
So who knows? He might end up staying there.
Right. And then, I mean, I can ask you the same thing about Daniel Jones and the Colts. Any thoughts more on that? I know you brought up.
I kind of expected that. Richardson has been very disappointing. Hasn't played a lot. Always hurt. Ever since he did the head tap and took himself out of the game, I think it was last season. There hasn't been good looks for him, especially as a starter. And that in Indy, they took the risk on him, taking him 4th overall out of Florida. I don't know. I could see him maybe have success somewhere else, but I truly think he's just kind of a bust.
Yeah, with that. Tough to say that, but definitely agree. Alrighty, that's going to wrap up everything we have in the NFL here for this week. We are getting so close to the regular season. Make sure you stay tuned for all our live streams and our podcast each and every week for the latest and all our picks each and every week of the NFL season. Jumping over the college football world, college football is officially back this Saturday, August 23rd in Dublin, Ireland, where I'm recording right now, where the number 17 Kansas City Wildcats will go up against the number 22 Iowa State Cyclones. This will be the first time in history where 2 top 25 teams will go head-to-head in week 0. Who do we like in the first college football game of the season? I have the odds up here. Kansas State is leading here at -3 on the spread, -150 on the money line. Iowa State +125 total at 50.5. Huff, what are your thoughts? I'm here. Sadly, I actually, no, I can't go to that game, but I wish I could. That'd be fun.
Are you near that stadium?
Very close, yes.
That's cool. I'm going to go with Kansas State here, -3 / money line. I'd probably take -150. I wish it was 2.5, and you can't buy points in college. Actually, yes, you can on MVM now. Well, that must be new. I've never noticed that, but
I don't.
I like 2.5. I like money line, so I like Kansas State. I think they handle business over in Ireland. But like we said, first time 2 ranked teams have ever taken on each other in week 1 or week 0, not week 1. And then obviously next week we have a great slate of college football. I think this is going to be a good start to the season. Hopefully we get a good game, noon on Saturday. The only game of the day. And then next weekend we get absolute great football. Texas at Ohio State. There's a bunch of great games next weekend. Nebraska, Cincy. There's a great slate of sports next weekend, and I can't wait for it.
Heck yeah, lots to look forward to as we get more into this college football season here, week 0 here this weekend. Make sure you stay tuned for all our picks on Instagram, Twitter, and so on as we release those the day of the games. But that's everything we got in the college football world. Let's jump over to the MLB for our power rankings here for this week. Coming in at number 5, we have the Los Angeles Dodgers. Number 4, the Toronto Blue Jays. Number 3, the Philadelphia Phillies. Number 2, the Detroit Tigers. And number 1, the Milwaukee Brewers. Staying on top there, doing their thing. What do you think, Huff? Power rankings here for this week?
Yeah, I think the Brewers are hands down the best team in baseball. They've been the most consistent over the past month or so. They've lost 2 straight, but obviously still 7-3 in their last 10. Detroit's starting to catch fire again. They whooped on Houston today. During the day, I think they handled business last night. Yes, they did. They're now on a 3-game win streak, 8-2 in their last 10. The Phillies, obviously, I think that's probably my pick to come out of the NL for the World Series to represent the NL is Philly. And then obviously you got the Blue Jays, the Dodgers right there. Blue Jays just I think they lost 2 out of 3 to my Pirates. They lost today, lost Monday when Skeens pitched. So I think the Blue Jays will get back to it. I don't even know if I like them as much to win that division. Let me see what the current odds are on that division. We see standings division. So they're 4.5 games ahead of the Yankees, 5.5 games ahead of the Red Sox. I still think the Yankees win that division.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair to say. I hate to say
I think Toronto's definitely a playoff team, but if they're not, or I think them and the Yankees both make the playoffs. Probably the Red Sox too. They should have won one last night. I'm very pissed at them after the way they fucking finished that game last night. Bases loaded in the 8th, bases loaded in the 9th, bases loaded in the 10th, and they lose in extras. So that was frustrating, but they're still a good team. Only 5.5 games back of the division. I think the Yankees are starting to kind of catch their stride again. They went crazy on the Rays last night. I think they won like 15 or 13-3. They've been stringing together some wins. They're on a 4-game win streak, 6 of their last 7. So I think the Yankees are catching their stride. A lot of people were kind of counting them out, saying how bad they were. I think this team is just getting hot at the right time as we head into the last month and a half of the season.
definitely getting down to the wire here. Lots to look forward to. But this weekend was Little League World Series, and what was it? MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred said possibility of expansion in the MLB to 32 teams, realignment of divisions, possibly 8 divisions. Some teams or some cities are looking at Nashville, Salt Lake City, Mexico City, an MLB return to Montreal. Curious of your thoughts on this. I know this wasn't in our outline, but curious what you think, what cities you'd like. Obviously Oakland's going to Vegas. That's not a new city, but it's
I saw Portland and Charlotte are supposed to be the 2. Nashville's up there.
Yeah.
Obviously the MLB doesn't really do Eastern or Western Conference. It's just kind of 2 leagues, so it doesn't really matter. They could do 2 teams out west, 2 teams out east, and just figure out how to reseed the divisions. But I saw a suggested division of the Pirates with the Yankees, Mets, and Red Sox, and I think the Phillies. So if there were 5 teams in the division, I can guarantee you the Pirates wouldn't win a division in the next 20 years if that was our division rivals going up against the Yankees, Phillies, Red Sox, Mets. I saw a couple other ones where it was a little bit more friendly for the Pirates. I think we were going to be with the Nationals,
that's the one I saw.
Cleveland Guardians, and
8. Yeah.
Who was it?
Padres. Or not the Padres, sorry, the Orioles. Oh God.
Orioles, us, Cleveland, and the Nationals.
Yeah.
I would like that division. And that has us moving to the American League.
Correct. Right. Which is interesting. And that's the one I saw because I kept reading 8 divisions, and with 32 teams, that's 4 teams a division. But I don't know. Could be cool to see more teams depending on where it is, what they plan on doing. Like you said,
they'd have to figure out what to do with the playoffs because all the division winners you make the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like,
true.
So you're gonna have 2 more division winners, and then if you go from 6 divisions to 8, you now have 8 division winners.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those teams have to get automatic bids into the playoffs. They'd have to either expand the playoffs or trim the wild card back to 2 teams, and then each league gets the extra division winner. You know what I mean?
Right.
There'd still be 6 teams making the playoffs, but instead of 3 division winners, 3 wild cards, it'd be 4 division winners and 2 wild cards.
Right.
I like the 3 wild card. I think if anything, they should do it kind of like football used to, where the best seeded division winners should just advance. Out of the 4 division winners in the National League, 1 should automatically go to the next round, like get a bye week kind of thing, or a bye round, however you want to look at it. But
yeah,
that's one thing they'd have to look into that I didn't see anyone kind of projecting or saying what they would do. Is obviously the playoffs right now are 3 division winners, 3 wild cards. So I bet they would just simply go to 4 and 2, just so they don't have to do anything crazy, and at least see how it works for a year or 2. And then if there's good teams getting snubbed every year, they'd probably have to take some action on it in the future.
Right.
But yeah, I think Charlotte, Nashville, Portland. Obviously Vegas is getting a team. I saw a couple other ones. Where was it? There was one in Texas. I can't think of where. So Texas Rangers are in what? Dallas. Astros. I can't think of where it was. Maybe it was Austin. That's like right next to Dallas. That doesn't make sense. Or no, Austin's not there. Austin's not a pro sports town. That's like college. I would
Yeah,
leave that. I
yeah.
would leave that alone. Kansas City, Oklahoma City, I saw get thrown out there because of the success the Thunder have been having. Um, so really, it just depends who wants to build a stadium and buy a $4 billion baseball team.
Yep, totally right. All right. Well, I think that's just going to about do it here for us this week. Anything else to add before we get out of here, Huff?
Yeah, not much. Shorter episode. Just two of us on this week. We'll get a lot going next week. Obviously, we have week one of the college football season. We'll be 2 weeks or a week away from the start of the NFL season. Get a lot of our picks going as far as futures. We went through some division winners today in the NFL. We'll do the NFC next week to go through and get you some picks out there. For anyone that likes to do a division winners parlay, I know I always do. So we'll get you some picks out there. The picks this week for the AFC were the Bills, the Texans, the Ravens, and I think I said the Chiefs/Chargers. So whichever one you like better out of there. If you don't want to go with all four favorites, maybe substitute the Chargers in there and try to get some value. In a parlay plus 310, we'll do some crazy numbers. So, we'll get our NFC picks out next weekend. We'll get some other picks out this weekend. I'm going with Scotty and Aberg to win the Tour Championship this weekend. Scotty's looking to become the first golfer to do it in back-to-back years. So I think he gets it done. He has every accolade, everything you could imagine in the world of golf, except the U.S. Open, and I think it's just U.S. Open now because he has the Masters, he has the Open, he has, he just needs the U.S. Open for the career Grand Slam. So I think he gets it done this weekend, plus 170. Don't look at it as there's no value there. He is the best golfer in the world by far. I think he gets it done again on Sunday in Atlanta.
Heck yeah, Huff. Good stuff. Great stuff to say about Scotty. Cannot complain about his performance lately, but I think that's going to do it here for us this week. Thanks for coming out. Make sure you check us out on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, the whole 9 yards. We're really excited about the NFL season coming up and all our picks and all our live streams and things. So make sure you stay tuned. Talk to you guys soon.